think this thing's warming up. I think it's turning on. Are we live? I think we're live. What's up, everyone? Dave here with Affordable Door and Gate. I hope you are doing well. If you jump in here, let me know that the audio is okay because sometimes we do have audio problems and I'm just talking to the wind. Hope everybody's doing good. He's got all the Christmas parties and all that. So Todd, let me know. Tony's texting me here. He's right. He'll probably be jumping in here. It's my guess. So I wanted to talk about, a little bit about everything. We can, obviously, hey, you guys are always more welcome. If you're just jumping in here, you're just coming in the background here, you're more than welcome to always ask any questions. That's why I always do the lives. They're more or less for you guys, and I really appreciate all the new subscribers, all the existing subscribers. Every one of you. I really do. I'm glad you're here. Like I said, it's fun. I have a great time. I learn a lot. I love the emails, the text, the comments. It's a good time. It's a good time. So 2025, baby. Let's see how it goes, man. Anybody having any predictions of what anybody got, are you kind of feeling the way that I'm feeling? I don't see the catalyst. I don't see, I'm kind of like, I know Trump's going to be in there and all that, but I just keep going, boy, I don't know. I think we're going to be riding the same, and I don't know what's going to be the kickoff, because I think it's going to at least take a year for things to kind of start molding, and then we might see inflation with the tariffs. Anybody care? Anybody's nervous about the tariffs? I'm just curious. Sky's here. Thanks, Sky. Cheers, by the way. The water's tasting good tonight. Good H2O. Hey, Mars guy, he says, I'm first. Rock on, man. Oh, and don't forget, too, if you're cruising through, whatever, click off for a second, however you got to do it. Hit the like button. It helps the algo, wakes up more like-minded people, good people like yourself, and we have fun with that. So, yeah, I'm first. I love it, man. Darn it. I should have messaged it. I always like when I get in there, I don't know if I can do it on this platform. It's harder for me, but yeah, it's, I'm first. We got to do we need to start doing a giveaway. You're first, you get a hat. So anyways, too, if anybody's does anybody got anything planned for this week? You got any doors going in? Or if you do service work, you got anything service work? If you're a landscaper, painter, whatever, HVAC, throw it in the comments if you got a big loaded up week, or it's going to be a pretty easy week. Also, I'd like to ask, what everybody is doing. What do you got for days off? Do you get New Year's Eve? Do you get New Year's? Also, is there anything you do? You just kind of hang out? Do you watch the ball drop? Throw it in the comments. Like I said, it'd be kind of cool to see them. I know for myself, we don't really do too fancy. I sometimes can't even stay up for the ball drop anymore. I'm old. It's kind of, honestly, somebody put it in the comments. What's, it's not the one guy I'm thinking. Who's the one guy that hosted it for years? I want to say his name's Dick something, right? The New Year's, I might be wrong on it, right? But he was the old guy. He passed away. Who's the guy that used to host it all the time, man? He was I always liked watching him. He was kind of like that hero, and then now it's, who's it now? I forget the younger dude name. He came around in my younger years too, but I don't know. I just can't get along with it. What's up? I see hi. Is it Michael? Michael says hi. Hope you're doing good. Let me know what the weather's like if you're somewhere warm. Oh, we got some cold weather coming towards, I think towards the end of next week. 25s for the high. I'm sure the snow and the ice is coming back. Oh my gosh. Holy moly, we jumped up. Hey, if you're cruising through too, please, before you leave, hit the like button. Just helps wake up the algo. I really appreciate it. And just also so I know you're not AI, that there's real humans out in the universe, out in the world. If you just hit that like button, that's all I ask. Doesn't cost you nothing. Doesn't track you. I won't come find you. I won't send you no mail. I wish I could send you money, but I'm just not there yet. Maybe one day. So, it's my birthday today. Well, happy birthday. How old? Was it? I don't work as I'm workaholics for years. I have been helpless, addicted to work. Was it workaholic? Is it workaholic? That's kind of funny. I like that. What's this guy? Michael says happy birthday. That's right. Sky is trying not to work Oh, traffic sucks. Yeah, Sky, man, you should tell me how that traffic is. How is that traffic, man? I know, like when I went down to Arizona, I remember I was sitting, I don't know, it was five, it might have been 6 lanes of traffic, right? Hey, we got up six, like, thank you guys for hitting the like button. Um, but oh man, I remember thinking to myself, I was kind of like I was like, do. I was like, well, yeah, I'm gonna go to this garage door place, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, how upset I would be if I was owner operator in it now. And I'm thinking, I normally could probably get, maybe 3, 6 service calls done in a day. And I'm thinking, you know, I can't get crap done. I probably have to cut it in half dealing with this traffic. I'm sure maybe there's a little ways to sort around some of that traffic and all that, but you know what I mean? Like it was bad. It backed up, and it was, I went early. It wasn't even like rush hour time. It was, early in the morning, somewhere between 6 and 8. And wow, man, those people, they're crazy. Hey, we got to 9. Thank you guys so much for hitting like button. Um, the live person. Yes. I don't, I can't cut myself and bleed, but I would do it. I would do it. Ryan was a Seacrest, the new. Oh yeah. Ryan Seacrest. Thank you. Money Juice. Thank you for putting that in there. Who's the guy though? Right? Did anybody put it on there? Who was the guy before Ryan Seacrest? They say his name is still his like show, but he passed away, and I can't think of his name. Maybe it's in the comments here. I just haven't seen it yet. Ryan Seacrest. I don't know. I ain't got nothing against Ryan. He probably does a good job. You know what I mean? But it's just, I don't know. It's just not my thing for the 2025. Subbing. All right. Jump on, man. Like I said, you got questions too. If you're thinking about getting into the service or anything you got for questions for business or personal and trucks or vehicles and equipment and tools or whatever, hey, throw it in there. That's what I'm here for. It can be non. I obviously do run businesses, and I got Garage Doors is the one for this channel, and you're more welcome to ask any question. I do it. So while we're here, we got a good group of men and women that help out, in the channel and stuff like that. They got they got some answers too for some of your questions. What do I click so I can find me? What do I click so you can find me? I don't know what to click to find me. I don't know, Mar. You stick around enough, Mar, you'll get a wrench. I'll put a wrench in your hand, or well, next to your name, I should say. 12. Holy cow, you're young. 12. What do you do? What do you do at 12? Let's see. Well, I guess if you're 12, do you got your own room? Right? That's a big accomplishment, right? Some people really like you got to share a room, right? Like some kids got to share a room. I was an only child. I was kind of spoiled. What else? 12. Probably got a phone, right? Probably got a phone. Maybe not data. Wi-Fi though. Right? I'm thinking I got 11-year-old, so I'm thinking, 12, yeah. What's your got any dreams? Got anything what do you want to be when you grow up? Right? That's how they right? What do you want to be when you grow up? Is it Stias? It says hi. Hello. Thank you guys for hitting the like button. We got up to 11. I really appreciate it. I will sub if you give me a shout out. Well, what is it? Marley and Teddy? Michael's got here. Best live person. Oh, dang, man. Dang, I'd throw you some money, some sprinkles, you know what I mean? If I could. Thanks for the comment, thanks for keeping it clean. And like I said, if you guys got any questions, we'll keep cruising through them. But like I said, I'm trying to read some of these. It's a little different. I'm doing it, kind of a little old school here. So, if you say my name, I will like sub and share. I can't even. If you don't got a real simple name, so I'd call you TNS is what I call you, because that's a Tarkiu Sharuto. That's a handful. Between Thanksgiving and New Year's, it's terrible. Yeah, I can imagine. I'm definitely very fortunate in most our area, our area that we service and where I live and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't normally get too chaotic. It will up a little bit, but nothing like traffic jams, right? Where everything's flowing at least. All the back roads, all the main highways, unless obviously there's an accident, which that happens a lot. We get a lot of accidents, man, with especially the road conditions. People just do not slow down. It's just they just don't get it. Um Azerizzi, something says, "Hi, what's up, man? What's up to you? I hope you're doing good. Ready for the New Year's? Clay or something. Ooh, Clay or something. I don't know. I don't know. Rejected. Got what is this? Is it Kristen? Kristen? Right? Kristen? What is the meaning of life? What is the meaning of life? I think it depends. I really think it's all up to you know, it's all up to what you want. It really it is. It's all a manifestation in your mind. You know what I mean? Your mind is your most powerful thing, you know what I mean? So don't abuse it. Don't do all, a bunch of crazy, crazy things, alcohol and drugs and, this is your most powerful thing. What you manifest everything in your life pretty much. You really do. Now there's things that happen, circumstances and that, right? But you know, habits. It's hard to break those habits. What's up, Evan? Cousin Eddie in the house. I love it. I love it. What's up? What's up? Evan, I hope that made sense, right? I didn't I know you know how it is with texting and all that, right? Kind of busy, right? And all that jazz. I thought about making kind of a video about it, talking about those hinges that you had, because I was thinking like when I was messaging you. So anyways, if you just some of you guys in there coming here, hey, we got 11 likes. If you guys don't mind, hit that like button. Maybe we'll get up to 15. That'd be nice. Anywho, so Evan messaged me about it. He showed me a picture of a hinge broke and that, and on a garage door. And I tell you what, any ones that have the perforation on them, the humps that are skinny, are typically junk, right? Those are the ones. Those are like the Menards, Ideal, Clopay, cheapest hinges that they make. They always crack right where the holes are and stuff. It's like they put that stamping on there just to make them try to be stronger. And I never really noticed a garage door hinges breaking on smaller doors. It's not that it can't happen, but I like 9x7s and under. You're probably pretty good. You start getting about 10, you're probably still okay. 12, ooh, that weight. You know what I mean? Because the one thing we always got to remember is like when a garage door goes up, right? What's it want to do? It's sagging. It's sagging. It's sagging. Every time it goes up and down, up and down, up and down. And then over time, that metal fatigue happens. But what I was telling Evan is I said, I've never seen a 11 gauge heavy duty commercial hinge. I've never seen one rip or break. Now I've seen them get twisted around a little bit. I can't even remember one being twisted around too much. Really, I think it'll deform the section. The door panel will give, the before the hinge really. Now I can't say I haven't seen any, but I never seen one crack. I can tell you that. So, and what my point was is that's where I get where like, people, they buy these garage doors, from Nards or like a box store sometimes. And garage door sections never really bother me. I don't know why. It's just me, my opinion. But I think about it and I go, they never bother me where like, I never feel like it's like, oh my gosh, the gauge of the steel is, I don't doubt like when, like talking to Papa Tony and stuff like that. Sure. I'm sure nice, hey, I like a nice solid, don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is most of the time, I never have a problem with the sections, right? The sections are about it. It's always the hardware, right? Maybe a little thinner cable, the crappier rollers, hate the crappier rollers. Things like that. The hinges, maybe they obviously doesn't have as good a cycle as springs, things like that, So just something to keep in mind. Keep in mind, Rusty's in the house, man. Rusty's in there. He's stomping some fires out. Have a question. We'll go for it. Like I said, if you have a question, more welcome to ask. Do you have marketing budget? How important is that to grow? Well, that's a great question. I've been thinking about it. I'm thinking about possibly picking up some of the budgeting because I ain't gonna lie. This is no hit on Rusty. I am a little rusty myself. So I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about how to expand more for the residential. I might know a guy that might want some work, and so I'm I'm just still debating on how to amp that up. I've mentioned before, for us, typically we're mostly commercial. We have wonderful customers, very loyal customers. Our demographic, we do roughly about 75% of the commercial in our area. And it picks up a little bit every year. We normally pick, one more bigger company of some sort. And so then the residential is kind of byproduct, right? We don't really advertise. We kind of bank off our loyal customers in a sense. Now, yeah, if we want to grow and another truck, another employee, and all this, yeah, we could do that. But right now it's been pretty stable the way it is. We're probably actually a little bit under manpowered, honestly. So we'll see how that goes. So I'm open, but no, we don't really do anything for the budgeting. We kind of use organic, we bounce anywhere from, second, third on the old internet, the old Google. Rusty, hey Dave, what's up, Rusty? Glad you're here. Says you're welcome, Michael. Thank you. Getting the word. What's this says? Getting the work truck ready for tomorrow. Ooh, Rusty, you at the shop? Where you at? You at the shop? You at home? Just kind of tightening up things, or what? It's got a LiftMaster MH, 30 feet in the air. Dang, man. Dang, you're putting an MH. What's the MH? Is that the maximum? Because I'm thinking they used to just call them the H, and that was the hoist. But I know you ain't probably on, if you're going 30 feet, you're probably not putting one of those smaller, the gray covered ones. You're doing a J50 on that baby. It's a scary question. Oh man, I don't know. I don't want to be too scared here. Sky's got 30 feet. Dang. Rusty, I don't know. I don't really quite recall right off the top of my head. I believe you got one or two scissor lifts. How tall do they go? Or are you renting one for this one? Scott says, I make sure I overbid those jobs. Overbid. Hey, I remember one we did. It was full vertical. The lift was maxed out. I remember I had to put a 6-foot ladder. The other guy I was with, he wouldn't do it. Hey, we got 13 likes. Thank you guys for hitting the like button. Yeah, he was like, nope. And I was like, dude. And I think it's just because I came from poverty. I was broke, man. I mean, when we started out, we were doing everything on, whatever it was, 30-foot, 40-foot ladders. I mean, and you guys know, if you've been on big ladders, man, when you get towards the middle, that bounce they get, wing, 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 it wants to almost tuck you off, and you're sitting there oh my gosh, and you're sitting there going, I hope I put 2 knots in that rope down there so this thing don't kick out. And you're lifting up with another guy, right? Both of you are on ladders, bringing up big springs. I've done big 6-inch springs. So anytime I get in a scissor lift now, and I do stuff, I just go, oh, what I mean? It's you have that fear in you for when you were a younger man, and you're going, holy crap. And so for me to jump on a little 6-foot ladder in a box is nothing. I'm like, I got this. You know what I mean? Now, where I get a little bit, I can go a second run on a scissor lift. You get up to the top run, and especially if you ain't got those logger boots on that hook, that gets a little bit that starts making me pucker. You know what I mean? I can do it, especially on one side. You jump on one side, but when you're doing the spread in the legs, and that gets a little all it takes is one leg, and you're going woo. So I don't recommend it. Oh, Evan says those hinges were the original to our Wayne Dalton. Ooh, the Wayne Dalton. Wow. Dave, I got a question. I installed 2 9x7 Wayne Dalton 8300s, and on one of those doors, the dang cable on one kept having slack. Ooh, this is a good one. Tracks are level. Oh, okay. Tracks are level. Spring is tight, and I was beyond stumped. Any ideas? Ooh, I'd like to see what the comments have on this. So what could it be, right? Obviously, when you set the drums, right? We set the drums with the cables, the notches on them, right? The buttons, they should be roughly the same area, which that's not too devastating in my mind. They could be off a quarter inch, half inch, whatever, you know what I mean? But they should be pretty close, especially if it's a brand new install. Another would be is your bearing plates. Now, I guess my question would be, let's see, if it's 8300, I'm assuming it didn't have the torque master. I'm assuming it's standard torsion spring. So the bearings, right? The bearings got to be, even though the track is level, that's why I got a laser. I shoot the laser like all over the place. Some guys, level out the door and they measure off. My always concern is when I get to the top, right? That's what I'm always thinking about when I get to the top, even if I shoot them across the top plates or I've shot them in the middle of the bearings, just to make sure something's not off. You know what I mean? Because things just, because, when I think about it, I go, most time I try to hit a hole or a slot and I go, the manufacturer, I used to work in stamping metal. This one's good. Who cares? It's half an inch off, chuck it down the line, right? So I'm always worried at the top where I'm sitting, right? My bearing plates, bottom brackets. That was one thing somebody commented before on a video. The bottom brackets and the bottom of the door could be in different spots. I know that doesn't seem real common, but I do know Wayne Dalton is a little bit notorious sometimes with their plates, because when you're putting your bottom bracket on, right, you're just shooting for holes. Well, who's to say that thing's not off? If anybody's got anything else, put them in the comments. What am I missing here? Maybe when the cables were set, you know what I mean? Like I'm thinking like when you set them, one was off. So the door has actually got a jog to it of some sort when it takes off. There's a lot of variables that goes into it. It's a great question. It really is. I've actually learned a lot from the guys in the comments that are part of this channel. They've actually taught me a lot to stuff to look out for. So that's the first things I can think of. I'm sure there's something I'm missing. But level, that's why I like the laser. Because it's standalone unit. You know what I mean? I got a tripod for it. I'll mount it on top of a table if I have to, or on top of a ladder. And I use electrical tape if I got to, and strap it to something wherever I want. And I got like a little bit of adjustment on the tripod. But I don't like guessing. Even though if you measure and you use, I've even, because especially if it's a bigger door. I'm assuming, Mar, it's a bigger door. I'm assuming it's probably a 16x7 or bigger, because those are where you normally see them, right? There's more distance. Normal small doors, they typically don't do it. Not that they can't. So, hey, we got 13 likes. Thank you guys for hitting the like button. 14-foot vertical lift. Customer has lift. Oh, yeah. Gray cover lift master commercial, half horse. Okay, set all cables. $3,900 out the door. Yeah, that's sweet. They got a lift, man. I love when the customer. Sometimes it's like a give or take, right? It's good that they got the lift. Sometimes it's crappy they got the lift. You know what I mean? Like it's because sometimes if they need it, that before, you guys almost done. I'm like, we had this planned for 2 weeks. You stay down there and obey. Like this is our lift. Or something goofy. I've had that before where we've had to take them from the maintenance guys. Hey, anytime you can use their lift, it's wear and tear. You don't got truck yours. It's like I haven't had it happen yet. I think I had one leak, but it was like it was a crummy spot, so it didn't really matter. But I'm always worried about that new construction, man. That new construction and blowing out a hydraulic line and the mess, and the new owner coming out, and be like, what are you gonna do about this? And I'm sure I can find it online, but I don't know what the remedy is for soaking up hydraulic fluid. I heard it does a number to concrete, especially new concrete. Michael says we need more people to join the stream. Go get them. Share with your friends. Tell them to like it. What exactly is it? What is this? Justin's got what it exactly is Purking? I don't know. Yep, standard torsion. Okay. I'm just curious too, Mar. Is it got one spring or two springs on that door? Just curious. And then I'm sure you got it in here probably too. Also, what size is that door? I didn't have my levels, so I measured off everything was plumb. That's kind of, it's like one of those things. Like if I had, Mar, if you ever get a chance to, you should always, shoot me a text or email. Um, that's why I've come to learn, like we got brand new red steel buildings all the time. And like, you'll be like stacking the door and you're like, what in the heck? You're like, is it my door or is it the jam? Like something's walking, and I can't, I'm assuming I'm not the only one, but you know how you're like sitting there and you're like, what in the hell is going on with this? And so, um, was, so what happened is, you're like, I like the laser. The laser is just a standalone because I've done it before. I've measured off the headers. I've clipped up the top of the, like the joists, right at the top of the header and measured off that. I've done certain things to kind of, to manipulate it. But I've learned, I've always had to tell myself, I don't care about your building. I have to make my door level, to some degree. Now, have I made them a little bit off to accommodate maybe for concrete? If it's in margin, I will. Most time, no. It just is what it is, man. The concrete slopes on that side. I'm sorry. My door, my track, everything's got to be level. That's just the way it's got to be to make it run right. And I find out 9 times out of 10, that's really how you make it run right. You know what I mean? By making sure everything is good. Where before I used to just, throw my track up, I'd throw it right to the ground. It hit the concrete. I just trusted the concrete. It must be good. It's close enough. You do all that work. And then one of the big ones, I've had some so severe that when the door goes up, it looks crooked in the radius because the radius is off on the horizontals. I've had that happen where I'm like, oh my God, it looks horrible. And so luckily I've had like, maybe if it has an opener on it, the opener will pull it out of the jam so you don't see it, but it's like horrendous, but I'm always looking for something like, if their header's off, that's fine too. If it makes my door, I don't care. Cause then at least I can prove to them, I can throw a level on it. I can do my laser if I had to. It's hard to do it in daylight, but I can say, hey man, your crap's off. Not me. Check my stuff out. Boom, shoot a laser. And what I like about laser, I can shoot big spans, especially if it's dark, not super dark, but not sunlight. I'll shoot it across the rib, or I'll find something on the door to shoot it across. So I've been really liking it. I got a video that's probably gonna come out with another laser I'm gonna try out. So hopefully you guys will be able to get to sit and play around. And have level measured off. Mar, what type of spring system? He's got torsion, Rusty, single spring. Okay, a 243. Okay, Rusty, which drum are you setting first? Left. Where's he going with this? I see Mr. Tanner's in the house. Welcome, welcome. Glad you're here. Yeah, and I just want to say this before I go down in the comments. Just in case some people don't know, and enlighten me if I'm, if we got some input on it. If you can order the doors, especially if it's a wider door, right? 16 by 7, stuff like that. The small doors, they're kind of a pain to do 2 springs. You know what I mean? I normally just go with 1 spring. But anytime you get the option, order garage doors with 2 springs. And here's the reason why. I never knew this, but back in the day, they used to come out with these plates or end bearing plates. Never had that tab on that one side where you could stick a lag. Does anybody call them different? The wood lags? I call them lags. Is that the word everybody uses? Lags? I call them lags. They go in the wood, right? The 7/16 head with a, I don't know what you call it, washer that's already built in or formed into it. But anyways, it's got that little flange on it that you could pin that, right? I never used to think that was important. And especially if you get on like 15-inch radius, because you don't have that other piece to butt it up to and actually pin it there. So they're up there kind of waddling around, right? Well, what'll happen if it's a single spring, when you wind a spring, it grows, right? It'll grow, it'll actually push the shaft or whatever. But it depends on how you wind it, I guess. But the way I do. So it grows, right? Well, that spring, every time it's going up and down, just like if you ever had one stuck, like the cables came off and you go to undo the spring, what's it do? It always goes boing. It sucks into itself, right? So I never knew this till I was talking to a guy, but you want 2 springs because then they work in conjunction, right? And then what it'll do is always putting pressure on one bearing all the time. And this is what he told me, which it makes sense, but sometimes I just don't do it, especially every job is different. You go to that one that's got that old man and he's got those suspenders. Wait a minute, suspenders. Anyways, they got the hat, the old farm hat, right? And the suspenders on, and he's sitting there chewing on something. you know what? I'm just going to do the same spring. You know what I mean? Because he's going to go, wow, why is it on the side? You know, and he's going to automatically assume that door is not working. Even if it just something happens or makes a different noise, well, you know, the spring used to be on the right. You know, I think they made it that way. It could just go down a rabbit hole. So I just do the same. But if it's somebody that's, you know, single somebody that's not really, that doesn't, you know, not, you know how it is. A gentleman that could care less. I do it on the other side because then it puts that pressure back on the other side to wear out that bearing evenly in a sense. So just something to think about. Always rings. They work better. They also, when that spring ever breaks, if you're ever still in business, it'll keep the cables on. It can save you in the long run where you can have, what I've done is program the remote, or I've hit the button real quick on the wall, run over to the garage door, help it. You know, the garage door can help you to get some of your tools and stuff in. You can bring the door back down. But when it's one spring, you're done. You know, the cables normally go flying. The door is super heavy. It's awkward. You can't lift it up by yourself. It's a pain in the butt. Tanner says, yeah, make sure door is level and end bearing brackets and bottom brackets all match. And if you can, check the cable length. Sometimes one can be slightly longer, which I don't doubt. That can do it, which I ain't gonna lie. I'm guilty of that. I don't do that. You know what I mean? I don't check them. I should. I think I'm going to, now that Tanner mentioned that. Rusty's got, are you using vice grips? He says one head slack. Doing the vice grip, huh? Vice grip. I even, was this revered a vice grip and right and still had slack. Yeah, that sounds like something to me like something's got give in it. You know what I mean? Like something's got give. Either the track, the bearing plates are off, the cable is longer of some sort, or something's going on. How it's wrapping on the drum faster than the other one or something. It says, is it still sitting good on the floor? Question mark. So before I go into the comments anymore, one thing I want to mention too, just in case some of you guys, like, you'll be like thinking this one day, be like, oh, you know what? Uncle Dave said something about this. If you ever come across, I learned this the hard way. If you ever come across a full vertical lift door, basically a dock level, end of a building, dock plate, you know what I mean? Full vertical, goes up the wall the whole way. Those got those step drums. They're big monster drums, right? And they got steps in them, right? They go, you know, from, you know, big, small. If those things are off, I don't even know how much I say they could be off. Maybe a 1/4 inch. You start getting a 1/2 inch, hell no. Don't even do it. Get those cables, like, get them perfect. I did that once. I had them off probably like maybe 1/2 inch. I don't remember. But all I know is that door started walking, it'd go up, and that thing would just, it's like it grew. It got worse and worse and worse. And I was like, what in the, you know, and I was trying all different kinds of things to kind of manipulate it. And I basically had to go and recut the cable down and make it close. I forget, I was trying to cut corners, something. And I noticed too, what's funny about those is normally when you put a jack shaft opener on them, they go pretty fast when they first take off, but as they get more towards the top, because the drum gets smaller, the door goes slower. So it's kind of like they bounce, they go pretty fast, and then they kind of mellow out as they get towards the top. But like I said, those ones, you cannot mess around with cables they have to be like, I think I did it 2 or 3 times. I got so irritated, I literally took the other one off and I laid it on the ground and I was like pinching it with my gloves and, you know, checking it again. And I think this guy or somebody, what are you doing? You know, I'm just like, I don't know. It's like, I thought I knew, but I don't know. Like, this damn door keeps walking on me horribly. I mean, just horribly. And so I just told myself, when it comes to those ones, cable's got to be perfect. I don't think I had a center coupler. It was a small door. Typically don't have center couplers. So that was probably part of the problem. What's it say? Still on the floor. Yes, I'm telling you, I checked every single possible outcome, except he didn't get the laser out. And he didn't have his level. That tape measure was lying. I'm just joking here. Let's see here. Check the back hangs. Oh, and the door is up. It could be getting wedged into one spot. Ooh, that's a good one, Sky. That's a good one. It could be wedged. Yeah. Damn, never kind of thought about that. That's a good idea. Yeah, you're right. It could be. It could be. Did Wayne Dalton give me different size cables? Oh, snap, man. I tell you, I don't know. You guys put them in the comments. I get this weird feeling. Well, actually, I see it in the comments now that a lot of the guys do not like the Wayne Dalton. I mean, it is right down there. Um, uh, you guys let me know who's worse than Wayne Dalton. I mean, I personally would say Amar, but I don't know. It's got to be right. It's got to be right down there. And I'm not trying to pick on him. You know, Wayne Dalton's done me good over the years, but you know, you know, that video, right? That video, guys, I mean, it was pretty much, I don't think there was anybody on there that mentioned the Wayne Dalton. They, Clope. That's one thing I didn't check. I know, I don't check cables. You would assume they're right, but I'm telling you, man, nowadays, I don't know. Evan says, wondered if Papa Tony will show up or if his YouTube got hacked too. I don't know. I think he's all right. He was mentioning he's normally at 9 o'clock. He's got Mama goes to sleep. Mama goes to sleep around 9 o'clock. So he's a free man after 9 o'clock. He goes wild. Justin, here comes all the dad jokes. Would extra, what does it say? Would extra tension fix it without making it too fast? Extra tension, fix it without making it too fast. I don't know what that is, Rusty. You talking about my job or you talking about the cables? Would extra tension fix it? Make it too fast? I don't know. Don't know. Okay. Mars guy, he says it's 7 foot. And I cranked the baby 34 times. Man, that's the hottest I'm willing to go. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Mars got on here. He's got Dave. He says it's a 9x7. Whoa. Man, Mar, if you're still having troubles with it, like I said, you can always take some pictures. You know, you're more welcome to either text them to me or email. I don't know. I'd be getting the old level. I'd be getting laser out. You know what I mean? I'd be getting laser. I've used commercial angle iron with the level, but I don't like it. I don't like it because, you know, with the laser, it's so precise. You know, when I've used a level before, especially like a piece of angle, even, you know, angle sometimes can have a little bit of a sag. Does it work? Yeah, it works. I mean, it'll get you out of it. It's better than a tape measure, I think. But I like shooting that laser, man. I like sitting there and I dial it right in. I get her crisp, whatever I want to focus on. And it seems like it talks to me so much better. But it is electronic. It is battery operated, so you got to make sure, you know what I mean? So it could fail. But I always, you know, boy, I'd be bringing everything. I'd be bringing a tape measure. I might even bring a second tape measure. I'd probably bring a laser. I'd probably bring a level. I'd probably bring a chunk of angle, maybe even a commercial chunk of angle if you got that, just so it's stiff. I'd probably check to see where those drums are sitting. You know what I mean? Like, does something looks funny on those drums? You know, make sure you put your hand, feel behind that drum, make sure that cable isn't doing something weird, popping off. But I'd be sitting to look where those notches are. They're pretty uniform. You know what I mean? If something looks like it's a half, you know, one's down at, you know, whatever, you know, 8 o'clock and one's at 9 or 10 o'clock. Oh, no. Something goofy is going on. It's jam. Red iron is never perfect. It could be the door, but I level every door, and if it starts falling out, he says it's jam, but I order all doors 2-inch bigger than the finished jam. Yeah. And that's something, if you guys ever don't know about some of that commercial stuff, let's just say I got burned my first time doing red steel, commercial door. I realized real quick why you want reverse angle, and you want that 2 inches because it for one, the appearance of it, you can't see outside where your seal and stuff sitting. It yeah, you definitely want the 2-inch overhang. Rusty Tanner, is that because you're using reverse angle track? Mounted steel always 2-inch bigger. Got myself before on that. Oh yeah, the 2 inch is nice. Mounting to wood, I don't. Yeah, it just depends. I don't know what it is. This is just, I'd like to hear your guys' opinion or something. I mean, okay, so here's my theory. This is a very customer base conversation. Hey, we got up to 14 likes. Maybe we'll get to 15 before the stream ends. Thank you guys for the likes. Hit the like button. So, this is my theory. I don't know what it is. I'm thinking probably, I don't know. I'm thinking about 12 foot high, 14 foot high for sure. Somewhere in there, right? When they're about 12 to 14 feet high, I like my reverse angle. The track is stiffer. Like when you get that track that's like really, it's all wonky. It's like all wobbling all over the place to me. When you got the reverse angle on there, it's so much more solid. And then here's my theory. For one, with reverse, depending on the situation of the customer and how much you love them or how much you don't love them, you can put the clip mount seal on, right, on the track. Put that on. So now that's sealing. Now it's 2 inches wider, which I love. Especially, I'm kind of thinking like I'm kind of on like that pole barn, right? That little man cave pole barn. It's gonna have 2 or 3 doors, 4 doors, maybe a what do they call it? A barnuminium, house is attached type of, something. But I like the reverse because here's the thing. I had one on my old house, and the doors even I was like, every time I walked past it, I could see outside. I could see the daylight, right? I thought, boy, if somebody installed these doors for me, I paid money for them. I would call them and say, I don't even know why we did insulated doors. I don't know why we even did insulated windows. You know what I mean? Like I can see outside. I can see where the weather seal is. Like I can see it. And now it's just a total mental thing, right? Like, do I go up to the door and feel it and all that kind of stuff? No. But every time I walk past the vehicles, I can see on a bright day, I can see light. It drives me nuts. So when it overhangs, it blocks that. You know what I mean? But here's the thing too, right? If you do the clip mount seal, let's say it's a wood construction, you could still put weather seal on the outside, right? So dual seal. You got the perimeter seal you nail to the outside. You got your clip mount seal. You got your header seal. Now you got like double the seal, baby. So that's why I do like the reverse mount and the 2 inches. And like I said, it seems like when I get to about 10 foot, I'm like, I'll just deal with I like the brackets to kind of float. So I don't really mind. But it's just something to think about. If you're going to build a house or it's for maybe a family member, it's something that you want, you want it to be nice. That's my opinion. I don't see any drawbacks, really. Can't think of any right off the top of my head. As long as the wood's there, you're not in tight spaces. I think that's why also my brain, I always like 2x6 for my jams. When people, what do you want? You want 2x4 running up from the floor to the ceiling? I'm like, no, 2x6. This gives me plenty. I never had a 2x6 fail me, but 2x4, I've been like son of a biscuit. Pretty close. Now you're not with the reverse typically, but it is bringing the door. You know what I mean? Mounting to wood, I don't. Sky says your right back hangs might be too tight. Not at least a gap between the top fixture and color roller stems. Yeah, that's very true. Those top fixtures always hang out farther. You guys ever notice that? It seems like the top ones and the bottom ones, because the bottom ones will get you through the radius, right? And that little, when they come together, right? Especially if it's like a Wayne Dalton, it's got those turn brackets. It always grabs through there. It always sucks. Makes a bunch of noise. I guess anything wood, steel, concrete, always 2-inch bigger. I want my doors to have something to ride on the other. Okay, than weather seal or jam seal. Better than thermal air transfer. Ah, that's true. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can double seal it, in my opinion. You know what I mean? And they just feel like, I don't know what it is. When they get too big, seems like anything over 10 foot. It's like they're always pulling them off the truck. They're always stuck and jammed. They're always twisted and funny. And the bracket's always flared out. Where those other ones seem like they just slide a little better. In the truck, they're more solid. They're heavier. But, I mean, it is nice, though. It is nice when you got the brackets flared the other way and you can adjust your track if you need to. It is nice to have options. 2-inch weather seal. Collar. This guy's got a collar. What's the collar for? Must be talking on that. The top fixture. Tanner's got, and 90% of the time I use angle mount legs. Angle mount, and it says, but if I have the room, sometimes I flip them. Okay, flip them, but I think it looks cleaner. And I do the leg thing. Yeah, I think so. We typically, what we do is like we stack the door, we get track set, we'll level it, whatever, and then we'll start putting, I always actually skip the holes typically, unless it's like a really windy day or something goofy going on. I'll skip the holes, and that way I can adjust it. If I don't know, you know how it is. When you're doing garage doors, you're always like looking for like it's almost like you're always looking for an out or a screw up that you're going to do, because I do them all the time, it feels like. Not all the time, but you know what I mean? Like, you're always looking back at something like that ain't going to work. You're like, oh my gosh, why did I put all those screws in it? Where if you just, now the trick is, what we do is after we get the door running, then we go back and actually do our bottoms, put our bottom screws in, we fill it. What I did for a protocol, especially with employees and that, because we had a problem at one time that things like, I go inspect a 6-door, 8-door job, and I'm like, what the hell, man? Like, this is a big, like, there's a ton of wind here, and there's only like 4 screws in the whole track. So it was like, just fill them all. You know what I mean? Unless there's some reason not to, just fill all the holes, except for the bottom where they got 2 that are closed. Just do one, pin the bottom, fill all the holes, unless it's like, you know what I mean? It's warranted not to. Rusty should ask Dave for my phone number. I got good video I need to send you on some Clopay full views. I don't, and again, having a problem with their product, and I'm not sure what's causing it. Yeah, that's a good one. I should put that up on the channel, Tanner, and show that, because that was weird. The way the glass and that door was bowing. I was with you, though. The only thing I could think is maybe the glass. The glass was making that thing bow out, doing something funny. Maybe the glass also helps add strength. I don't know. It was weird. Tanner, are you Copay dealer? He says, what connection do you have to that company? I think Tanner is, I think he's doing it for a general contractor. They're the ones that furnished it, type of thing. I don't think he gets it, Clopay says, dang, autocorrect. Sky, I gave extra. Oh, dang, look at that. Sky says, gave Dave an extra. Boom, just to hit it. Bam, we got to 15 too. That's awesome. Well, thank you very much. Cheers, by the way. Yeah, but Tanner's got like huge door. I don't even know what size that door is, Tanner. It's like, gosh, I don't know, 24 by 16 or something like that for width. 24 or 16. I don't know. It was big. They're missing the glass. I believe that was one we've talked about before, that the glass was either damaged or it had water in it, something weird like that. And he couldn't install them, so they got plywood in there. And they put the struts on. They got huge struts on that thing. And yeah, the door is stacked, right? And it's got like this bow to it. Oh, it was the gap. That's what it was, the gap. He's got a gap between the section, but I don't know if that was how it was rolled, the forming. Like, it wasn't sitting down all the way. I don't know. I don't know what was going on. Maybe it was in the forming of it. I've had that happen quite a bit on some doors. It's almost like you need I don't know what the word would be called for, a mandrel to like slide in there and like tap it and form her back there to get it to sit right, what was that one? I had a guy one time, man, he really, he was kind of a sub. And I remember he's like, of course, it's the one, right? He's done quite a few around town and other places, a little on the outskirts. He does this one out in basically it was Grand Rapids, Michigan. And I remember he's like, comes back and he's like, you have to go back to that one. And I'm like, why? And I'm like, come on, man. I forget his name. I wouldn't say it anyways, probably, but I'm like, dude, are you serious? And he's like, yeah, you're gonna have to go back to that one. So it was like I think it was a 16 by 8. Wayne Dalton. It's probably a 9600 door, series door. And they had light coming through it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And of course, no windows in the whole garage. Right. And he already told the customer, like, he's like, oh, there's light coming through here. So I go out there, I start looking at it. This is when I realized why he's getting these doors done so fast. Cause he kind of come back kind of early. And I was like, man, how's he getting these doors? I mean, this guy's like twice my age. I'm like, how's this guy like, And so he wasn't doing weather seal. He was cutting corners like that. And even though I'm sending him with it, like, I'm like, I don't know what he was doing with it. He was keeping it, throwing it away or what. But I was like, so anyways, I go out there, and with the Wayne Dalton ones, what you got to do is you actually got to pin them with your little pointy screw. You got to pull them up and help suck that section down. Well, must not done that or something. I figured he was doing on other ones. And of course, now the lady's Hawkeye-ing it. Right. She's like, yeah, the guy told me there's light coming through. And she's like, she points it right out to me. And she's like, he said it's got this light coming through. And I'm thinking, why would he point that out? You know what I mean? Like, why did he not just like, I don't know, let it ride? And so I went back. I don't know if I drilled my own holes or whatever to get the section. I had to squeeze it down on both sides to get it. Those hinges are normally not that good anyways. But, man, I was just like, dude, why did you tell the customer like that? Why didn't you just call me? I would have came out while you were there. So we got an issue. Hey, before I get this job wrapped up or something, why don't you come take a look, and just kind of keep it mellow, you know what I mean? But yeah, those doors, and the way I always think about some of those Wayne Dalton doors, I had a huge job I did, what was the one for the TS 125s, is I always think of like you're trying to put two sheets of paper together. Good luck keeping the sunlight out of that, right? Don't even think about the paper bleeding through. Just think about the edges. It'd be so hard to keep the edges together and have light not come through. But if I took two big boxes, right, huge boxes, a couple boxes from Amazon, and I smucked those together, the light would not bounce through that, right? So that's why I always think about garage door sections when I go, ooh, they're only 1.25 inches thick, that can bounce through there. Or if they're 2 inches thick, 2 inches thick, the light has a hard time bouncing through there and not showing so much. Now, obviously, it depends on how the doors come together and all that kind of stuff too. But man, I just remember that job had no windows in it. We got the last door stacked. I think there was 4 on each side, 8 doors, maybe 6. I can't remember. But anyways, it was and this guy was he was a tree service guy. And asking one of my electrician friends or something about like hooking up an air compressor. And I just remember some spat was happening. And my buddy kind of tells me, he goes, yeah, he's like, he's asking about hooking his air compressor up. He goes, I'm not a used car salesman. He goes, don't just throw the tires in for free. He goes, I told him it's another $200. Like the scope of the work is to wire your building, not to put an air compressor in, and if you want me to do that, I can, but it's going to be, and he kind of like, argh. So I thought for sure this guy was going to grill us, or the GC at least, and say, why even have insulated doors? I can see light. I mean, like it was like we packed up our tools. We got the last door stacked. The man doors are open, or we got a door open, a couple doors open, and we shut everything down and went at man door. And I remember when everything was dark, I looked and went, oh my gosh. Every door had light coming through it. I was like, oh my gosh. And I talked to the manufacturer, actually riding with them to go down and look at a plant. And I told him about it. He kind of shrugged off. Then on the trip back, he tells me, he says, he goes, we'll replace all those sections for you. There was a problem with the manufacturing. The end plates were too big, so they weren't sitting down. And I'm just like, you're going to replace them all? But like they're already moving trucks in. We got to go back. All the labor, like, are you going to pay us our full labor amount? So I just let it ride. And Nothing ever became of it. I was really surprised, very lucky. But that kind of turned me off. I thought, you know what? I'm not, unless it's got windows in it or something. And they really, like, I'm like, you really want this? You really want to go down this road? Da-da-da-da. Tony's in the house. What's up, boys? Tony, we've been waiting for you, man. Hope you're doing good. Evan's got sup, Pop Tony. Evan, you got anything in the works? Got anything in the works? Anything coming up? I was thinking, I was like, I know I don't, but I was thinking about Evan. I was like, you got your visa? Come on down. Come on down. Might have some projects coming up. Tony's guy says, good evening. Tony, what you got? You got anything in the works this week? Busy week, taking New Year's off. We got New Year's off. What is it Tuesday? Tanner says, no roasties, have not. He says, I don't think I ever would be. No offense. He says, not a big fan at all. He says, I'm subbed by a company out of South Dakota that's doing bigger jobs like hospitals, sheriff's department, and schools. And he must have some other stuff. You can only put so much in. Whole lot of nothing. Nice. Just kind of slow, Tony? Is it slow, or just kind of you're like brushing them off? You're like, you're doing like the Rusty. You're like, it's 405. This week it's 500. And I'm not doing it. Nah. Tony's got same, or Evan. Yeah. There's some stuff in the willy weeds. Hopefully I'll have a little video. We got I haven't quite got all the details on this one, but this one I guess has got the motor in the middle. Sounds like a beer door. I don't know what size. I'm assuming 16 plus wide by, I think it was 14 or 16 tall. Something big. Got the two set up, right? The two, it's got outside hookups and inside hookups, dual springs. I've never seen them. I guess one's got a chain that runs between both of them with an opener in the center. I think the opener needs to get replaced. So, and it sounds like it's tight. Like you can only fit the scissor lift in forward, and you still can't even reach it. Like you got to like reach past the bars to get to it. Like it's buried up in the willy weeds. Always slower after Christmas. Everybody's broke. Everybody broke, man. Got no money. Everybody's spending on the holidays. I was just seeing, what was I seeing? Was it Costco? Sam's? I can't remember, but they were showing something on the old interweb that was talking about how people are returning their Christmas trees. They're like, man, what do you think this is? Like a rent-a-center? And I was like, dang, dude. I was like, I never thought about people returning Christmas trees. I don't want to store this. I just want to use it. This tree's no good. What's wrong with it? It wasn't green enough. But I do remember the old Wife-a-tron one time, she used to work at jewelry. And she said, you'd be so surprised during the holidays how many people buy jewelry. And then after the holidays, they bring it back. They got to have the bling, right? They got to have that bling for when they go to the family. But afterwards, they don't want to make no more. They don't want to make no payments on it or whatever. Just all this jewelry comes back. Amazing. Tanner's they provided the doors, and I just installed them. He says, I carry the North Central. My bigger commercial doors sell, he says, Garage House, Wayne Dalton, and wherever, but we don't sell much Wayne Dalton or Amar, just mainly service. Texas Repo, I'm broke, man. Everybody's feeling it, man. Inflation. Hopefully the tariffs don't, we're going to pay for it one way or another. You know what I mean? Hopefully they don't ring us too bad. Service, and if the customer really wants the door, I mainly sell Haas or the North Central. Nice. I don't think, is Rich B in the house? What's the one? Is it Door Link? It's one that he always recommended. I think he was trying to push them up this way a little bit, maybe they're worth a shot, I need somebody a little closer. Server Spring, come on. You need to start sending them up here too. I guess we buy big enough here, they will. What we got? Evans got handed. An old lady looking at openers at Home Depot. My business card, sweet. Maybe I'll have something. Nice, nice. So I ain't gonna say nothing. I always wanted to do this, but I never did it. I was chicken. Um, I was always gonna stuff some cards. I was gonna stuff cards like in the opener boxes. You know how they got like the rivets or whatever, the staples, typically, or even if they're taped, just get it underneath that lid. You know what I mean? Like that first part. Even if you had to take a little, I don't know about the knife situation. You might sit there long enough. They're thinking you're stealing stuff out of the box. But I always was gonna like put a couple business cards in them. You know what I mean? So like somebody opens the box and they're like, what the hell? Oh man, you know what? There's this guy. Oh man, I'm gonna give this guy a call because I'm looking at this. I do not want to put this together. I've come across quite a few people like that. I mean, like we go install their opener, and it's like, so what happened? And they're like, because when it's open, you're always kind of like, is everything here? Has this thing been installed and retaken back apart? Is something broken? Is there something I'm missing? They're like, I started opening it. I don't really either have time or I don't really know what I'm doing. It's like, gotcha. Okay, not a problem. We'll get this working for you. You're at the home place. I used to stick some in the windshield wipers. I didn't do it too crazy. Start getting kind of busy over time. You know what I mean? But I'd stick them in like windshield wipers. Maybe a contractor or something. See somebody at home, like the home service or something. Oh, what am I thinking? But property managers. Do 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 do. Service, Tanner. But Rusty says, Tanner, I think being a direct dealer, I must get the good stuff because I never have a problem other than normal. Yeah. I don't know. So, I guess, so here's what kind of gets me a little bit. And this is just the one that's on the top of the stack, right? And so I'm not trying to beat him up too bad, but like, so I guess Cap was saying, he just reiterated this to me again, that about a Clopay door, and the weight was off. It's a brand new door, brand new install. They sent the springs, right? And so he's like, he can't get this door to balance out. So he finds out what it needs. He calls him, and I think he was 60 or 80 pounds, like, over on the weight. And so he's like, these aren't the right springs. And the guy's like kind of questioning him, like, well, how did you measure, how did you weigh it? And he's like, well, I put the scales, we got that little contraption. We, like these are just not right. So they really drug their foot. And this is probably what Rusty, since he's, a direct dealer and he's, we're not like, we're not really the best customer, let's just say, right? We don't get that little icon right at our thing that says we're an authorized golden service, great person, leader, service, provider type thing. So, but they really drug their foot, you know what I mean? And so then the guy, I guess they sent out one spring. So now there's two different springs on it, but one to make it enough, like they didn't want to send two. And I don't think it was like a super big door. Like we're not talking 6-inch springs and 4 of them. But they were kind of reluctant about doing it. I was like, things happen. Come on, man, like hook a brother up. Like that shouldn't be, we shouldn't have to eat that off. You know what I mean? Like, and everything was, the guy even asked about the struts. Did you, nope, everything is what you guys provided. That's how it goes sometimes. But I think it's across the board. Because I've been talking to mechanics. They say they have a lot of warranty issues. And I'm like, warranty? I'm like, why? And they're like, because the parts are just, no, they're junk. The tolerances are off or whatever. I'm seeing a lot of that stuff. You know what I mean? I think it's just across the board. People just don't care. Quality is just not there. I mean, look at the car manufacturer industry right now. Think of what Ford is like the highest in recalls. And I mean, look at Toyota. It's got problems. I mean, Honda, Nissan, and was it Mazda or not Mazda, but Mitsubishi joined forces. That ain't like showing real strong strength there, Shipping damage. Evan says maybe she'll call, considering Chamberlain doesn't provide installation books anymore. That's crazy. That is crazy. Just trying to find a way to save $1. You know what I mean? What's up, you see? Says, what's up, fam? Love it, man. It's got the salute and fire and 100%, man. Love it. Not much CC motion. Yeah, it's kind of hard to say. You just never know. You just never know. It might sit for a while. You know, she might be busy with the holidays, you know, that opener. Maybe she knows somebody, maybe her husband or something, or maybe a grandchild or something can do it. You just never know, but it doesn't ever hurt. Doesn't ever hurt to always just, you got to swing, right? You got to swing to hit that ball. I think I'm not positive, but a company is a dealer because they provide doors for many other projects. He says, I just do the ones in my area. Yeah, that's true. I never thought of that. Depending on that company, you know, they could be a sole, like, it's just hard, man. That's why it's like I'm always kind of on the channel. I'm always promoting, like, I don't care if you drive Ford or Chevy or Dodge or Nissan, Toyota. I don't care. Whatever like makes you money and works for you. You know what I mean? All I can tell you is the stuff that I've had experience with, and it's one of those things. Like it's all about your dealership. And that's why sometimes I'm like, hey, if you're starting out, use the box stores. Or if you can find a mom and pop shop that'll work with you and it works good, then use them. Go down that road. You know what I mean? If you get good service net, use them. Because it's hard, man. It takes a lot to make this whole contraption run right. It is so complicated. It's not even funny. From service to will they send you stuff? Will they answer their phone? Will they respect you? Will they, just so many things. CC's got it. He's like, what's up? Love it. It's like that Budweiser, right? What's up? Dave had one of those garage door college videos on my feed today. Ooh, so I watched it. He says they charge a lady $2,100 to install Home Depot opener. Holy moly. Holy moly. Holy moly. Oh my gosh, Rusty's like, that's half my Easter price. He says, so I no longer think I'm expensive. Yeah, I don't know. I just had a guy, I think he's had a guy over in Detroit, Michigan, reach out to me, and he was talking about that course, and I just said, man, I really can't promote that. I said, I really, I've been seriously thinking, I'm like, man, if people are like almost that desperate, I was like, I'd rather you just spend for your room and board or whatever you got to do. Come over to Affordable, come over to a Door Gate. We'll run you for a week. You can go through some stuff. You know what I mean? Like we'll work with you. You know what I mean? We'll take you on some adventures. Because man, and the stuff I've seen, I've had a couple guys, send me some of the stuff. Let's just say, I can't say too much. And it's, how do I say it? You might as well sign your own piece of paper and just say, it's like an IOU or I'm certified now, because it's kind of like, it's a little bit like sometimes like college, right? For our jobs now, we don't go in to be a attorney or a doctor. You know what I mean? We need more hands-on, right? We need more experience. We need to be around people that can rise us up, educate us, teach us. And that's why I kind of also mentioned, I was like, dude, if you run into something, you're pretty close, I could probably help you out. I said, or send me something, send me some pictures or whatever. But it's just one of those things people just have to understand. Sometimes I'm lickety split, and sometimes I don't message back for half the day till nighttime, because it's just I am running my wheels off, catching up on whatever, how life is. And just 1 minute, you're like, I got enough to do today, and the next you're like, oh my gosh, I got so much to do. Prices. So yeah, Tony's guy says, what's up, CC? Tony is a van. The van's all good. Running. Got those tires on it, man. Got some new shoes. What's Evan got? Says Dave, he says, I'll start sneaking business cards into Chamberlain boxes. I'll let you know how it goes. Yeah, you might get a phone call. You never know. You might want to just kind of sprinkle a few, you know, let them sit for a little bit, see how it kind of goes, you know. Evan's guy says, if the election goes bad up here next year, Dave, you sponsor me to come to the land of the free. I'm sure we can always figure something out. You know, you're a good dude, Evan. Rusty's Evan, come to Pennsylvania and you got a job. He's mine, Rusty. He's mine. I'd take Evan. Evan's good, man. I just wish I had something closer. I wish I had closer to the shop for like a rental or something, you know. Need to get like you do it in the nice season. You just go one of the campgrounds. You know what I mean? Buy yourself a $500,000 camper, motorhome. Go crash. There's a campsite. I used to stay at when I was selling. I was in between houses. I tell you what, man, it was like the best time of my life. I loved it. I come home. It was like 2 swipes with a vacuum. You know, nice small little camper. Fire started. You know, get the hot dogs going. No mustard. You know, get, you know, whatever, just, you know, get the burgers going. Fam would come home, you know, out of school, everything, you know. The only part that really was crappy was their water had iron in it. So that was the only crappy part. So I was like, the camper was mint, and it was like you open up the valve and it was like all that, like, you know, rusty looking water. You're like, oh no, like it's getting all everywhere. You had to keep everything so clean. Oh, Tony's got vans. Good. I think one of them's going in. The vans are starting to get, they're starting to nickel and dime. Man, I tell you, anybody's got any recommendations? What they got, any buddies or anybody's got those, you know, I kind of like the Dodge Sprinter. I think it's just, I don't know if they're a Sprinter van. You know, they're the contractor. They probably call them something else. But I really don't trust Dodge. I really just don't. Or Stellar. Is it Stellar? Stanza. I can't say it right. Am I saying it right? I'm trying to think of that name. I just don't trust them. You know what I mean? And I don't know what the new Chevys are doing right now. I don't know if they got a 10-speed in them or still it's a 6-speed. Some of the GMs, I have not even looked. I had the Fords on the mine. I thought the Fords were looking, you know, like, oh, those might be some nice, you know, something a little different. But maybe not. A little taller would be nice for the back ends, you know. The hunching over gets a little old as you get older. Says, Mars guy says, I'll drive my the E250 to the grave. What year? Mar, what year is the van? I'm just curious. E250. We used to have I think that was an E250. Stellantis. There you go. Thank you, Stephen. The E250, man. We had, what year was that? I think it was a 2000. It didn't have that weird, I think it was still known for spitting out spark plugs. So I think it spit out 2 spark plugs in its life, which always really got me. Like, how do you build vehicles spitting out spark plugs? And so it spit out a spark plug. Transmission never had no problems. Rusted though. And I don't know about you guys. I don't like the sliders. I do not like slider doors. Like on a minivan or something, that's fine. But on those the big commercial vans, I don't like. They always, there's stuff that gets down there, the dirt. I've had nut and bolt bins fall over and get in there. You go like open it, just burying themselves in there. I'm always more of the dual swing door kind of guy, especially if you gotta, maybe, you know, you're kind of somewhere a little secluded and you got to use the restroom. You know, I like the swing doors. And I think I actually kind of like it. I shouldn't say that. I was gonna say I kind of like it when they don't have any windows in the back, but I noticed the one van doesn't have it on those 2 swing doors, and that drives me nuts when I'm trying to get over, because I got to rely on my mirror. I really like having that window there just for that blind spot, or I'm sorry, not the glass. Mercedes Sprinter van, our are the one to buy the Mercedes Sprinter vans. Mars guy, he says, and a 2019 F-250 with the full rack. Oh man, big dog, big dog. It's crazy how that's like, you know, we actually overload a lot of the F-250s and E-250s. You kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like you can you can put so much stuff on them. They're sitting there, they start squatting. So I really like to stick with 3000s. You know what I mean? Those seem to be, we haven't maxed those out that I've ever seen. Rusty, do you have a new vehicle based on taxes or what, or when you need it? I think we're going to go into probably going to need it. You know what I mean? It's not a tax thing for us. It's more just, I think we're getting to what I noticed for me is when I was shopping for vans a lot, because I used to buy a lot of used ones. But the problem was is you put stickers on them and stuff like that, you know. And for us, especially up in Michigan with all the rust, you know, if you're buying a van that's already 6 years old, you only get, you know, about 3 years before it starts really rusting out. Because once they get about that 8 to 10 years old, they start getting holes in them. And so it's okay if they got the miles, but the rust seems like it really brings down the value in them for us anyways. So I don't know. Morgan, what's up, Morgan? I have a ton of business questions. Would you trade labor for business lesson? I'm looking at buying a local massive company who has like 5 dealers, and I'm still new. Well, maybe more. I don't really. So like, trade labor, business lessons. So like, I'm kind of curious. Like, so on the 5 dealerships, what are we talking? Because like when I hear that, I go, was this like car dealerships? Is this oil change? What or is it garage doors? You know, how many guys are they running? It might be something you have to email me. And if it's something too, we can always share on the channel. I can put stuff discreetly. If you don't want it to, just let me know. Say, hey, you know, please don't share, and I won't do that either. Tony's, according to my mechanic, he said they are the best ones out there. Does not have a lot of comeback. Interesting. And it's the Mercedes, you said? Let me look. Mercedes Sprinters. Is that running a diesel in it though, Tony, or is that a gas? If you know, because some of those ones had diesels in them. And I don't know, man. I really don't want to do. I don't want to do you know, I don't want to do all that emission stuff and death fluid and all that crazy stuff. Okay, so they do have gas. Okay, but the Mercedes, huh? See, the problem for us too is I don't know if Dodge, like our local Dodge dealership, the closest one really is which one is it? Ford. We have a Ford dealership right down the road. I don't know. And our Dodge one's a little bit across town, but I don't know if all Mercedes there. I'm trying to think if I've ever seen Mercedes. I just don't remember Mercedes. So I don't know where we'd have to go for that. If it wasn't them, I mean, might have to go all the way to Grand Rapids. You know, Grand Rapids, Michigan probably has one, but you know, that's all of a you know, hour and 50 warranty or something. You know, imagine you got to send 2 guys. Whew. Morgan says CHA Rainer, Clopay, North Central, Safeway. What is your email? I'd love to vid chat or run some stuff by you before I make mistakes. So mine, I don't think I put it in the description in this one. Darn it. Of course, the one time somebody asked and I put it, but it's just Dave. So DAVE Dave A, the letter A, Dave A Dubson, DUBSON. Dave A Dubson, the letter A for the middle. So Dave A Dubson at gmail.com. Typically, if you go and find another video of me, I normally put them in the description. So just Dave A Dubson at gmail.com. What I need to do is get like a hat. Something's got it on there. I should have wrote it on a piece of paper before I started the live. So if that doesn't, just let me know. But that throws me because obviously that throws me, honestly. Because if it's CHI Rainer, like how are those all coordinated You know, I need a little more. Need a little more details. So Rusty's got how many in the field? We got 1, 2, 3, 3. Right around 3 to 5. It just depends on what's going on. We only got the 3 though, service. Other ones, kind of bounce, their helpers or subs. So, but what do we got? I'm trying to think. I just don't know what to. Like I said, I'd love for somebody to come on here and tell me about. They go, I know where you can do a lease, and it makes sense. I feel like I've looked into this before, but these vehicles, I just don't trust them. I almost, I thought about this one time. Like I said, it sounds good to laugh about it on a video, but it probably wouldn't make sense. But I always thought about I was like, because we got U-Haul right down the road, and I mean, you could almost probably throw a rock in their parking lot, and I always thought about you just get a U-Haul, right? 1995 for today. That doesn't include mileage, right? And I was thinking, you just get like an insert, and you have a forklift. You got your inserts that are per vehicle or whatever, per guy. You just put your insert. And I know that's really silly. Now, obviously, if you could rent it for maybe just rent it for the week, Monday through Friday. You know what I mean? But that way, if that van starts having problems, you're like, hey man, this one's not working. Like the heat's not working. So they'll be like, oh, we'll give you another one. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't want this one, man. This number 405 or whatever. 405. I don't know why I thought it must be rusty. So this number 111, this one's junk. You know what I mean? Like, hey man, give me another one, 222 works really good. I like 222, because the bad thing about service vehicles is it's kind of crummy. It's the name of the game, blah blah, right? But the crummy thing is that they sit. They only work for 8 hours a day, maybe 10, maybe 12, and then you got the weekend, and they just sit. And they don't make no money, and they just get old, and they get age on them, and they wear, and they depreciate, and they just fall apart. So, I just thought, if you could do a lease, and the thing is, we don't do a lot of miles anymore, so I think we're roughly putting anywhere from 10, 15 to 20,000 on per year, per vehicle. So we don't travel like we used to. Excuse me. According gas. Mari said, I know a guy who sold his garage company for $650K. Retired and then started another one. Just him and his truck doing one to 2 jobs a week, man. Sometimes it's not bad, hey, keep it small, keep it all, just, hey, whatever floats your boat. There's so many different ways you can slice and dice it in the business. Like I said, there was that time I've had a couple guys reach out that I know, but sometimes it's like, do you really want to go down that rabbit hole? That they're in other spots that I've thought about, that I always have wanted to, but the problem for me is that do I really want to travel and then help them manage it? And then sometimes the problem is finding the guys, the guys to perform the work is very challenging. It's very challenging. So maybe if somebody, the right one came along and is really committed, maybe. But there's ways you can scale. And like I said, for me, there was a point where, I scaled so much, it wasn't a problem. It was like I can get the work, man. It was just, can you deliver? And then by the time you get somebody out there, and then you try to do systems, you put systems in place, and those systems, they can have hiccups and failures. And then there's some stuff that's just completely out of your control. Like when trucks are showing up and they're like, hey, we brought a window section. You're like, great. You're like, well, where's the rest of the door? Oh, they forgot that. And you're like, oh my gosh. And it's gotten so worse nowadays than it ever used to be. I used to, I'd get a confirmation, right? I get a confirmation, and I would get that confirmation. It would tell me everything that's on that truck, right? And what's going to be there, what date, it's being shipped. And I always knew how to figure the dates, because they're, sending it on a Wednesday or a Friday, but it's really going to be here on a Tuesday. I would call the customer and be like, hey, like your door's coming in on Tuesday. Could we schedule it either for, maybe around noon, or could we schedule it for Wednesday? And I could get all this stuff set up. To this day, it sounds like I've talked to Cap, and even it's still got there's, like he had a contractor, and he's like, well, when's it going to be there? And he's like, it's going to be here next Thursday. It's like, but that doesn't mean it's all going to be here. So they're still doing that where they're not sending all the material. And that's really crummy. So it's really hard. So now you think about how much more time you're putting into this, right? Because for us, the cough syndrome was going on. I mean, we were basically a storage unit. I mean, we were storing stuff everywhere, outside of tarps and trailers, you name it, we're just snuggling the stuff everywhere we could. And that's not good because that's just sitting there. But the stuff would come in, like literally, like I said, here's your window section. You're like, where's the track? Where's the weather seal? Where's the door? Where's the hardware? That didn't come in. But then it's like they would send you a bill, and everybody's life just pure miserable because now, like, secretary and stuff's going, hey, did this job get installed? Like, they send us a bill, and you're like, heck no, man. Like, they sent a window section. I don't know what to do with this thing. You know what I mean? Like, now it's in my way. So a lot of like those variables. So that's why if you find that golden nugget, that vendor that really, does good quality control, that treats you really good, hang on to them, Ooh, Evan's got or rent a van from Hertz. The problem is with Hertz. So we have out here, it's called Enterprise. We did have a Hertz. Boy, they've been gone. I think at the beginning of the cough syndrome, so right around 2000-ish, they went bye-bye. Very small little place that they had. I've seen them over the years pop up around town here and there, but they never stayed, never a big location. Even the Enterprise isn't really that big. It's maybe half an acre, 3/4 of an acre size-wise, the parking lot and the little building. The problem I see that scares me is I've seen all these horrible stories with the Hertz that these cars come back as stolen. Now, I haven't seen it with U-Haul. I haven't seen it with Enterprise, but I've seen it with one company. I've seen it with Hertz, about people getting pulled over and gun drawn. I remember a gun was drawn on this lady. The car came up as stolen. It got flagged going through an intersection on one of the cameras. So that company, and this ain't just a one time. I mean, I probably somewhere to 6 to 10 stories, different stories I've seen on the old interweb, not personally, that makes me go, I probably will not ever rent from that company because I will be very afraid that that vehicle is going to somehow open their system as stolen, even though it's not, and it's going to wreck my day. Tony Morgan, he says, are you talking about being a dealer for those companies? Good question. That's a good question. Because it's throwing me how on Morgan was talking about, like, how many, like, yeah, I got CH and Raynard, and I guess I'm just kind of confused a little bit. Are you talking about, Evan says, yes, okay, so you do have Enterprise. I couldn't remember the name in that last comment. I know, Tony. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's kind of cool. It'd be cool, actually. I would have probably no idea how to do it at the moment because I don't think I selected it from the get-go. But it'd be pretty cool to have Morgan on and do like any questions or something. Maybe you can come on and Papa Tony or something. Like I said, see what we could dig up. You know what I mean? Because that's a lot. And then it's like, how that goes. You guys know. I mean, Tanner and Tony, or if you're buying a company, there's all kinds of, what kind of money, you get a phone number, truck, equipment, you talking, there's a lot of factors that go in there. And that's a big variety versus it just being a single, in my mind. Yeah, that is crazy. Did LiftMaster ever come back out the J50s? I haven't heard any of you guys talk about them. The Maximums, like, are you guys still using them? Oh, no, they sell them all day long, or like, no, they got the J50s back, or the T50s. Tony's was, he changed his mind. He deleted it. You think I could beam him in? I guess I'd have to have his contact. So probably have to have what, mail or a phone number. I'm not, Tony, you're actually better at it than I am. Tony's like, yeah, he says, I want to hear this. Well, hopefully, if Morgan can, like I said, if we can get something, don't mind, sounds like don't mind coming on. If we could do something like that, it'd be fun. Get some insight, how things are. Because, man, I tell you, we got a good group here. A lot of things, man. I learned a lot of stuff from you guys. I hope you learn a lot from me. I mean, it's just, it's crazy. It's crazy. There's a lot of good stuff, and then what goes on out there. I got to tell you this little story. I thought doing like I was going to show a little clip. I don't think Rusty would probably mind. Rusty came across a customer. And man, I tell you what, this customer's got a winch pulling the door up. So you got to imagine it goes on the outside of the door. It's got a bracket at the bottom of the door. And the winch goes up through the cable goes up through like the weather seal. It's going on the whole face of the door on the outside. And he's got a winch that pulls the door up. And I guess Rusty was telling me a story about this. I think something broke on his house door now. This was like an outbuilding, I believe. And something broke in the house door. And so the guy goes, oh, I'll just put a winch on it. He showed Rusty. I don't think the battery is charged or something on it. But I about died when I seen that. I was like, oh my gosh, I've never have ever seen something like that. I mean, it was just like, you know how you just feel like you've been doing this so long. You're like, I've seen it all. I know everything. And I was telling Rusty, I said, man, if the world is coming to an end, I want this guy on my team. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, when he said when he had a winch on it, I thought, there's no way. Like, how do you make a winch work? And then I was like, when I seen it with a picture, I was like, dude, that's ingenious. That's ingenious. That is those old boys that are fun to be around, man. Lots of awesome dudes in this group. That's right. That's right. Winches are cheaper than Torque Master. Dude, that was I'm so glad Rusty shared that with me. I mean, I was dying, dude. I was just like, no freaking way. Like, I just kept looking at it. I was like, no. And I was like, but yes, that would work. But I'm thinking that bracket's taking a lot of force. But dang, man, just leave that to some old time. I would have never thought of that. Because all I kept thinking was like a winch. You must have pulleys or something to pull. Like, how do you get it to pull? And then I had to really look in the picture, and I said, oh, it's on the outside, a bracket. I guess, man. I guess, why not? Could you imagine, like, when that cable ever breaks, some small kid, please, Lord have mercy. Don't do that, man. That thing come down like a guillotine. Oh. So he said, I love seeing that shit. He says, backyard ingenuity. It's freaking crazy, man. I can't believe somebody thinks of that crap. Oh, man. Oh, Rich has been a lot of driving. Dang. What's up, Rich B? What was driving? You just out shopping? You out picking up hookers or what, man? Just out doing that last Christmas stuff with the family? Grandpa. Oh, man, now I got Grandpa. Oh, man, Evan's gonna, oh, man, you guys are gonna duke it out. Grandpa Rich was. Oh, man. Tony's, he says, good evening, Mr. B. Yes. What's up? I love it. Maybe he's out getting dinner. Had to go. Gotta go get the chili dog. Rusty, tell them about the elevator too. Oh yeah, he's got the winch on the outside of the door. Then he made an elevator for inside his garage for different levels. That was pretty sweet. That one was running. He had that one running. So I mean, just This guy's got so much time on his hands. I mean, I don't know. I I should have took a picture of him by that door. You know what I mean? I did that one time. I had a lady. It was actually a U-Haul. It was at the one in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and she was a sweet lady, probably about my age. And I remember she walks up, we're fixing the door, kicking it, banging it. It was all crinkled, trying to get it down and stuff, you know. And she walked over and she goes, "I'm really sorry." You know, she goes, "I did that." You know, and I don't know why. 'Cause most of the time, you guys know how it is. Most people don't confess. They're always like, "I don't know what happened. The truck, you know, the gas accelerator got stuck or the door wasn't up all the way or something." She just flat out came. She's like, "That was my mess up. I'm really sorry. You know, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry, you guys." You know, and I'm like, "Oh, it's all good." We got the door all running and stuff. She come back over. She's all yakking again about, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you guys got the door running. You know, thank you guys so much, blah, blah." And it's not even, she's not like the manager. She's just some employee. You know what I mean? And so I just finally, I told her, I said, "Hey," I said, "would you mind?" I said, "I take a picture, you know, kind of a before." I said, "I got one, you know, before and after." I said, "But if you stand by the door," and you know, and she did. She just stood there and she kind of like looked at, you know, waved, whatever. And I saw that was so cool because, you know, it's like went from this to this, and this was the culprit, you know, not in a bad way, just a fun. Mm, he's driving across the state. Oh man. He's probably, you know, Rich B was probably going up. He's probably doing something with Evan. Across those borders, you know, those guys do some shady stuff, you know. Evans probably wants some of that Menard stuff. I know Evans, that's right. I know I was singing that the one day too. Evans says, he says, "We're running out of nicknames." Yeah, yeah. Maybe Rich B's got one. He can just he can have what he wants. Is it Hellbat or Hellbelt? Hi, hello, and welcome. Hope you're doing good. We sell and install all those brands. I am so still confused. We sell and install all those brands. So Morgan, do you like work for this company and like it's like an owner wants to buy out? Do 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 do. Rich never made plans. Rich never made plans with you. Darn. Down to daughter, down South Illinois, and back up down to Chicago for, oh man, awake and then back home. Oh, sorry to hear that. That's like there's like good and bad. To do never made. Hello, heel. Tony must be using the voice. Um, he got it. He's like, I'm out. Repaired. Jeffrey's guy said repaired a door. Was it last week? Someone used what is it called? Oh, paracord. Okay, for cables. Wow. On extension springs, rated for old wooden doors. Oh my gosh. New door was beer. Was it called beer can door? Man, I can't say I've ever seen that. A paracord. Whew, wow. People getting brave nowadays, man, or they're getting dumber. Says I scribed for him 7 guys, all sub non. Oh, I subcontract for him. 7 guys, all subcontract, going nonstop, lots of commercial and residential. Oh, oh, nice, very nice. Is it? I'm wondering. Is like so? Is this individual? Do they want to like? Are they just retiring or just want to get out or what's kind of the gig? And I'm assuming 7 guys all subcontract, so he subcontracts all of them. And Morgan, I'm curious too. Like, what are you running? What are you running for equipment? You running a van, running a truck, running? I'm assuming it's yours, not. And then what is this? So subcontracting, 7 guys contracting, lots of commercial and residential. Wow. See, that's something right there. See, Morgan, you could teach me something. You know what I mean? That maybe we could share on the channel. Because I'd be interested to know, like, commercial. Typically, people they won't do the sub on the contract. On the commercial side. They'll do residential. Residential is more kind of cookie cutter. Commercial though, so how you just make your own bill. You know what I mean? Like if it's a service part, new install, you can kind of regulate that and say, well, it's figuring a day or 2 days or whatever. Morgan says, I have F-150, just purchased a Chevy 2500. A Chevy? Oh, nice, nice. Morgan, I wouldn't pay much if he's 7 people. They go elsewhere. Maybe. But if you're taking over the spot, that's the only thing I wonder. Morgan, being busy doesn't mean he is profitable. That is true. I know that firsthand. I do. So for someone like this, you would need to see his profit and loss statement. Yeah, and what might be better is too is if you can get the old any taxes, look back, whatever. If you can go back 6 years, go back 6 years and see what he's reporting then and what he's that's a big one, right? Tony's got it's true. 405. I love it. The other guys aren't interested in bookwork per se. They more just workers. Yeah. That's interesting. How would you guys handle this? Boy, I just don't know. I don't know. One part of me goes, what if he introduced you into these customers? But then it's obviously if you're putting stickers and that, you got the years of reputation. It's always that kind of weird question, right? Like why? 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 Plus two does so what is he? So here would be a good one, right? What is he? Does he have land? Does he have a building? Is there room to expand? Is it ran out of his house? Tony's got just playing Rusty. Tony's first time you charge. His first time you charge 405. Messages me and tell me how good it felt to make money. That's a good one. Rusty. I'll give that one a cheers. Oh man. Tell you what, Rusty. Thought Christmas Eve told the guy $275 for $250. When got there, it was a very easy job. Video, he says I charged him $275, and he gave me $300. Nice. That's where Evan 405. That's what Rusty charges. Evan, most of the jobs are 405. It's our little inside joke. Rusty does very good. I'm very proud of Rusty that he gets that, and he did his numbers, he did his math, which is very good, important, and that's what he charges. That's what he gets. That's awesome for most of his service calls and what he adds for hours and all that good stuff. Morgan says nope. Says he has 5-car garage out of his house. It's able to manage the guys and what jobs go where is impressive. See, that's. Morgan, does he ever talk like, I know this isn't really probably the place, but does he talk about, are we talking pretty high numbers? That's a tough one. If it was coming with like for a price tag, if it was coming with a, maybe a building and some 1 or 2 service vehicles and some product and stuff like that. I'm trying to wonder. You guys help me out here. Like I'm trying to think about this. Like I go, what would be the problem? Like, what if you could give this guy, right, the owner, the current owner, say something like, what if you were directing these people to me? I'm gonna be your sub basically. You're already kind of established in a sense with your certain paperwork. If he started directing them and you give them some kind of cut, you know what I mean? Like say, look, then you're still making money. Unless it's like you're just buying the phone number. Interesting. Rusty Tony, if you try for 1 month, he says, I'd be curious to see conversion rate if you would work less but made more. Never know. Never know. I know it's getting so bad around here. I'm just gonna start picking up pop cans. That's what I figured. Definitely high number. He says I'm looking for a phone number and the dealerships. Okay, so now it's starting to kind of make sense. Now here's the thing. How did that work? I was told by a dealer. Well, it'd be a vendor. That you'd basically like, don't quote me on this, but it was almost to the point like the bank account would have to stay the same. Otherwise, you'd have to get a new account number with that company. And if that happens, that's going to scramble a lot of stuff. Like, like if you're on A pricing, now you're going to get jumped down to C pricing possibly or something like that. So there's a lot of things like, like I'm trying to think of more or less like how could you make this where it's like, it's like a win-win, for him, you don't have to take a lump sum and get hit with taxes and everything else. How do you, but if he could direct people or you say, look, I'm going to take this, I'll take it over. I'll run these guys. Like, it's too bad. Like, even if the building's far away, like you couldn't rent the building, he's still getting some kind of supplement income. But some people just want out. I get it. You know what I mean? I forgot to ask Rusty, does that include customer purchasing the unit/door? No, Evan, that's what I need to charge per hour to cover my overhead and make 30% net profit. Rusty, I definitely couldn't give them that price over the phone. I get a lot of price checkers, those tire kickers. Kevin's got, Morgan, you probably won't be able to do the volume he is doing. Once business changes hands, you have to do new credit apps. Oh, see, so Kevin's already on it. New credit apps with vendors. Be like starting over, even if it's the same business. That's what I was trying to get at. And I think that's very true. So it's kind of one of those things like you think you're just going to jump in. It might not work that way. All these accounts have to be basically shut down, brought back up, but they're not like they have no credibility. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you saying, I'm using his credit and the bank goes, I don't care, it's you, and you don't have the good credit or something. You got to build credit with us. So that's why it'd be nice if it was like he could work something where you say, look, you're going to send them to me. You're going to get 10% or something like that of these customers or, the whatever, however you figure the numbers out. Maybe those guys know something, 7 guys and nobody else really wants to, maybe they know, Tony says, yeah, Rusty says when he gave me the 300, he would have easily gave me 350. I just felt guilty. Kevin says bought out his dad's a few years ago and into that problem, even with the business staying in family. I don't doubt that. Evan's got St. Tony. He says, I think I'd have to have the phone ring more frequently where have to book weeks out before I could even take on 405. You nailed it. Yep. Tony says you nailed it, Kevin. That's true. That is true. But boss bought out his dad a few years ago. Business staying in family. Rusty says, Tony, he felt guilty too. That's why he paid you more because you were more valuable than you thought. Yeah, I mean, it's always a give and take. You know what I mean? And that's what's really hard in the business sometimes. I get it. You know what I mean? and you hope, right, for Tony's sake and stuff like that, maybe this guy's going to just highly recommend him. Hey man, the guy is going to charge me, 200 and some change. I gave him 300. It was super nice. Um, it's always sometimes it's a dog and pony show, you know. Tom Reber on YouTube, one of his quote is, "Stop selling your family by changing, what does it say? Charging the customer less." That really stuck with me because I still bills, he says, have bills to, and not only them. Yeah, it's a weird, it's always a weird demographic. You know what I mean? It's really tough. That's why I kind of, I kind of encourage you guys and stuff like that. Don't forget to, invest your money. I've had really good luck with the real estate. Like I said, I really like that I never have to sell. I always have people come to me. There's tons of people who want housing. And I do more of the affordable housing. And you have an asset that goes up in price, just like kind of like with the stock right now, just keeps going up and up and up. Not that it's good, but it's what I like is that it's steady. You know what I mean? It's steady. You also got something that's going up. There's a lot of variables. Now, if you can just really slam dunk and make tons of money, and I think if you pre-qualify the customer, I think it's really important. Then it's better, because it's just always in the industry we're in. It's always either prices go up or you have to be more efficient in a sense. A vehicle that gets better gas mileage. You're not losing tools. You're not doing crazy things, like making more trips than you should, forgetting things, all that kind of stuff. Tony's got, I get great reviews. I make good money, so I can't complain. Yep, you're happy. Yeah, like I said, everybody's different. Evan says, I've saved some of those podcasts as you recommend. Rusty says, I've listened to them, and the sweet shop. I'm at the sweet shop tomorrow. Oh yeah. Sweet shop. That's where my Nikes come from. Oh, the sweatshop, sorry. Evan's got, we don't have giant net outside though, Rusty. Oh man. Oh, for people jumping off. I got it. I'm slow, but I'm getting it. So true, Dave. My first one I bought for 4,000. Now it appraises with no money. He says, and it's very little. He said 79 to 80. Yep. I it really, that's, you got to remember kind of like, it's one of those things, the business that we're in with garage doors and stuff like that, really it's cash flow, right? Cash flow is king. You know what I mean? Because I tell you what, I know a cash flow when it dries up, like in the 2020 and stuff like that, right? When the is going on and everything kind of came to a stop, man, no more cash flow, no skimming off the top. You know what I mean? Cash flow is king. That stuff never really sat with me, but cash flow is super huge. So you got to have the cash flow, and plus, like I said, with the rentals and that, invest, things like that. You got to find those assets that put money in your pocket, that, and the best ones are too, is to find the ones that you're doing that you don't have to be there all the time. It's working for you 24/7. For us, unfortunately, we want to get paid. You got to go out and work. You know what I mean? You got to drive there. You got the liability of an accident. Stuff could happen. We got to make sure we got all our stuff, right? That's why I always talk about the firemen. We're firemen and we're tow truck drivers. How fast can you get here? How cheap can you do it? I'm on the side of the road. I need somebody to fix my tire or tow this vehicle like now. If you tell them, well, it's going to be 2 weeks or 3 weeks to get out there to fix your broken spring, go fly a kite. You know what I mean? I'll find somebody else. Even if you tell them it's probably $50 and you're going to lose money, they still probably won't do it, And then the firemen is obviously we show up, we have to have all our equipment, all our tools, everything's charged. I think Tanner's doing pretty good with those impacts been talking about, because And I tell you what, these Milwaukees are having some glitches lately, and and I was just watching a video talking about those batteries. Once they get you wrapped in the batteries, they know they got you. And boy, isn't that the truth? Once you're into that platform or whatever battery, Ryobi, Vault, Flex, uh, Milwaukee, you name it, you're trapped, baby. Evan, starting the new year, you should contact everyone you know on your contact list and try to sell some garage door work, maybe even just a general inspection. True, true. It's weird. It builds momentum, and so I'm glad Rusty brought this up because um, so like one thing I've been doing, I've been playing around. Um, so sometimes what you can do is you could provide a free service, like a free inspection, a free lube job, and it's I don't know how to explain it. I really don't. But I've had this so many times in business that I'm like deader than a doornail, when I was first starting out. And you go do this job and you're like, well, we got all day to install this door, so really no rush. And I don't know what it is. It's like you're building the matrix, this atmosphere around you, and all of a sudden, boom, the phone rings. Now you got 2 service calls, and you're like, son of a biscuit. We shouldn't even stop and got breakfast. Now we gotta hustle and get this job done. Come on, boy. We got 2 broken springs we gotta go to today. You know what I mean? That's just how it works. I've had 2 and I've cleaned out my vehicle sometimes. It's just weird. So if you can just get out there and you can, you put the magnet over on the side, you're getting in front of people. Hey, I know somebody. They're going to start talking. Maybe you tell them, say, hey, look, would you mind giving me a Google review for my service today? I'm trying to build my small company, blah, blah, blah. They do that. It builds steam and momentum. So just the way I look at it, and I think it's hard for some people. I don't think Evan's pretty smart. But college is not free. So yeah, you lose $10, you lose $20, your gas, whatever, going out there and your time, whatever. Hopefully it's local, you get 20, 40, $50. You can go spend $1,500 on a course. That's going to give you a piece of paper and you're out $1,500. Where I'd rather touch customers, not like what you're thinking, get out there to their house and everything. And, it just neighbor walks over, a friend walks over, starts talking. I don't know, it just builds momentum. Evan starting. Tony's got, amen, Dave. He says, I'm spending money on something that's making me money. That's the way. He says, I'm always looking at where I don't buy it. Rusty, definitely Rusty. Tony's got, get some stickers on Windows, Evan, so your work or whatever, people see it. True. Do stickers, easy to come off. They're cheap. They have a problem. Stickers on the windows, magnet. Magnets always, they do seem a little cheesy, but you can get some pretty decent, nice ones. If you want to take them on and off or location or whatever, you want to stay incognito. Rusty's ever try not to expect it to happen quickly. All of us have been doing it for 20 years, but we all started small. It's a very small process. It's so slow. That's why it's like, how do I say it? Me and my dad were talking about the other day, and we were like, for younger people, like, where do they start? And I said, honestly, it's a long-term adventure, career, whatever you want to call it. It takes so much time. When you look back, all the stuff and all the paperwork and all the insurance and all the things to actually be full blown legit and everything's like the whole system's working. It's like the world's spinning. There's a ton. And you just keep chiseling at it. And when you come up to that speed bump, you find a way to get over it and you keep going till you hit the next one. And, I was talking to him, I said, maybe HVAC. I said, plumbing, garage doors, the trade. I think the trades are really hurting, so I don't think there's going to be a problem. But I've had a lot of guys always come in. They're like, like, oh my, it comes into this like, oh my God, I gotta start a garage door business. Like, I mean, you're just, and it's like, dude, you don't realize the hours and the years and the days of sacrifice. You know what I mean? It takes a lot to get that momentum. But especially when you're by yourself, once it starts kind of going though, boy, you can find out real quick. You're like, I don't have enough manpower. And then you go into the other side of the world, where if you start doing employees, oh boy, you'll get your spankings. Let's enjoy slow learning. What's got Evan? Liftmaster, he says. Evan says, I ordered one. Tony says, I have to order a new one. My phone number was screwed up. Oh, man. What's this guy ordered? Morgan's guy says, I'm building my ladder rack tomorrow. Ooh, nice. Planning on bumper to bumper rack. Okay. Any recommend instead big was this anyone recommend it? It will be 18 foot. So I can get some of my bigger panels 22 to without needing a no. No, I would say, we got the racks on our vans. We don't haul them on top anymore, but we got them we got the tube up there for hauling torsion tubes and struts. And we go a little bigger than 18 because obviously if you haul a 18-foot torsion tube, it's more like 19 foot, or 18.6, right? That's 6 inches, right? So I think that's fine, The bad thing with the trucks is they're always tall. That's the problem. Increasing panels, you got to be careful. It's almost a two-man job. So that's where you got to be a little. There was a company. Well, actually, it was my buddy. I forgot. He had a welding shop. He was the one that did garage doors and welding. He passed away, but he built this so there was racks on the side that you could just click them right down. So hold your load, because don't want to lose your load. Tanner's got exactly, Rusty. Enjoy the slow learning time, because when you get big, feels like happening so fast. And the point you're working nights, weekends, and holidays. Yeah, I mean, Tanner knows, man. Tanner knows. That's why. I mean, it's it's so true, because like for me, I went hog wild, man, just hog wild, and like I said, it's like all of a sudden one day you're just like, oh my gosh, like I don't even have time. Like I don't have time for I don't have time for the kids. I don't have time to even like fix my own stuff. I don't have time for hunting. I mean, the list can go on. So it definitely, and like for me, I had customers that were abusing in a sense, driving across the state to do like car washes and stuff like that. Shouldn't have been doing that. Tony, that's right, Rusty. Don't give up, Ben. It takes time. It definitely takes time. I think it took me probably, I bet about 5 years to start kind of feeling like stuff's coming in. It probably took I know I went past, you know what I mean? Because they always said like the 5 years, like when a business kind of make it or, goes under, either it makes it or goes under. And I was at 5 years and I was like, dude, like I am not where I want to be. I'm struggling horribly. And it was probably more anywhere between 8, 10, maybe 12, 12 at least, probably where things felt way more comfortable. You know what I mean? Where it was like, okay, there's money in the bank. We're able to afford problems or this or that. But 5 years, I mean, I was like, I thought this was supposed to be like the make or break. Hell no. It was like hammer down, Russian, just work, faster, 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 Do, 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 do. Is it Jelen? I'm sorry, I'm butcher names. Bro looks like Mike McCarthy. I know Mike. Is Mike the one that does is he friends with Rich Dad Poor Dad? Travis is hello. What's up, Travis? Hope you're doing good. No, maybe that's Kevin or Ken. I think his name's Ken. I think it's Ken. I might have the wrong person. Go coach your trash Cowboys, young buck. What is this? What is this? Cowboys. I don't know what this. I think this one's just gonna have to. We're gonna have to do something with this one. Let's see here. Oh, just put it into a. We'll do this for now. I think, unless I'm wrong on that. Definitely Rusty. Try to grow the business is what keeps me creating the end-to office space. And exactly, Tanner. I'm at the shop working now. Yep. Been there, done that. I know exactly. It's trying to get prepped for the next day. Get stuff ready. Hopefully, don't mind, Dave. You guys can always check out my videos check out Papa Tony. He's got I always look him up through Tony's Garage Door Service. Just check him out, follow him, subscribe. He's a good dude. He's got a lot of good information. He likes Sherwinders, but that's okay. We don't mind. Run a couple 2x6s and the whole length. Oh, for dunnage. That's a good idea. Was timed out. I don't know what I even put it for. For panels to slide on. Yeah, will do. Thank you, Tony. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, there's nothing worse than the door banging and stuff or falling. Tony, was your Facebook hacked, Evan? Yeah, Evan was saying something, Tony, that you had something goofy going on. Like you might have been hacked. I won't stay on here too much longer. Probably give another 5-10 minutes. I'm getting sleepy. I've been tired lately. All these events. Holy moly. Tony's guy, he says, I don't know. He says, I haven't had time to look at it. Well, I don't know if there's anything that's going on your end, Tony. Just be careful. You don't hit something that wipes out your phone or do something because it seems like your work one, there's something going on. So you definitely probably want to check into it, especially since it's your work one. We hope not. We hope not. It seems like it goes on everywhere, though. Then you have to send out the things. Please don't click on it because they're going to want to take your money. Or something crazy like that. That's how it normally goes. Evan, you should put your just LiftMaster Evan right on the YouTube. You should put that in the comments. If any of you guys got YouTube, throw them in the comments. It doesn't bother me. It's one of those things. The better you do, the better I do. Because I learned. I learned from you guys, man. I love it. So, and I love having the community. So it's like I can go to people and I can ask questions. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on. Like, anybody, please. And it's like this, and this, and this. Bam. That's great. What is it? Dang, we've been on this one for over, it didn't feel like an hour, that's for sure. A little bit. But anywho, it's a great community Tony's got. Yeah, for sure. Evan's Garage Door Service is my YouTube tag. There you go. You guys check him out. Go Papa Tony. Tony's got his. Tony's Garage Door Service. You'll find those guys. Make sure you subscribe. Hit that bell notification. Give them some thumbs up, some love. Ask some questions. They got some videos, man. I'm waiting. Like I don't know why. I'm like kind of itching, Evan. I just keep wanting, because I think I've only been to Canada once. Yeah, I've been once in my life. I'm just curious, like how your stores are laid out, and these prices are more, where I can fall over and go, oh my gosh, they charge $100 and some more than what they do here, It's just always cool. So you definitely should take some video. Take some video of the stores and the openers and all that. People love that kind of stuff. All right, guys, I'm hopping off. I am sleeping, man. I'm like, I can feel myself. Like I feel like I'm starting to get drunk. So I'm hopping out of here. Be the 51st state. Yeah, probably. You never know, Tony. Today, but Dave, but old lady there, y'all. That's right. That's all right. Night, guys. weekend. He says, it's right into drive, holidays. Can't wait full week. No interruptions. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, Tanner. I'm the same way. It's like these holidays. I'm glad we get to spend time with our loved ones and all that good stuff. And, you know, I like the kids getting presents, but the rest of it, the driving and just, oh man. And then trying to fit work, and work gets packed. And then I think there was 2 customers already this week that they're not back till Thursday. So the whole last week, and I think Cap even went to a job that they kicked him off because their safety people weren't there, even though he's working outside on gate fencing or something. And okay, well, we're still trying to work, you know what I mean? So, all right, guys, I'm out. Keep your fingers. Thank you. Subscribe, hit the like button. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for being here. And we'll see you. Hopefully Rich B's still here. We'll just over and out. See you guys.